Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Um, Wanted to make this video today. Well, let's be honest. This is a re-record because I made this video earlier in the week, and had planned on uploading it today and spending the day with my dad and my mom um, at their property, setting stuff on fire. And by that I mean a brush fire, not like arson. Um, And when I went to like preview it and just check and make sure that everything was all right, and like YouTube friendly, you couldn't hear me. It had like no sound. It sounded like I was talking like this. And I don't really go for the ASMR vibes. So I was like, crap, now I got to re record that whole thing. But I just sat down and kind of made some notes. So if you guys see me like glancing down here, it's because I went back through and I watched the video and I pulled out the stuff that I really wanted to like touch on. Um, and I'm kind of glad that it happened that way because I was kind of emotional when I made that other video, and I said some stuff that I'm really glad that I didn't post and put out there because, like I said, it was really emotional. And you know, just hindsight's hindsight's 2020, and not that I have a crazy amount of viewers or subs or anything like that, but I just, you know, I'm just glad that I have the opportunity to like redo this video, and I think that I can make it better. So I'm just glad that I had the chance to. So just to do some housekeeping things before I forget, because I will forget. I never remember to do this. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Jessica. I'm a woman in long-term recovery. I'm also a certified peer recovery specialist. I'm a Narcan trainer. I am all kinds of stuff. But to give you a shortened version of my story, I was in active addiction for 14 years. And now I am in recovery. And I've been in recovery for quite a few years. And I am living a life that I never thought that I could, never thought that I would have. And I love every minute of it, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad. And I decided to make a YouTube channel because my voice was not loud enough on its own. And YouTube gives me, or it, yeah, it gives me the opportunity to reach a lot more people than I can reach on my own. So that's why I'm here. And if you are new here, welcome. And for those of you that keep coming back, I love you all and thank you for coming back. Um, as always, hit that subscribe button. If you click on my description box, there's always links down there. I always put a link to my email address. So if you ever need to talk to me about anything that is personal that you don't want to post on the internet, you don't want everybody and their brother to see, feel free to send me an email about anything. And I do mean anything. If you need to talk to somebody, get something off your shoulders, whatever. That is always in there. My Instagram handle is in there. So if you want to send me a DM, or, us be friends on Instagram and see all that fun stuff, that stuff is in there. And I also link a couple websites that are like really, really good for finding treatment or mental health assistance, anything like that. So I try to put as many resources as I can down in my description box. That stuff is always down there. Like this video if you like it. Hit the notification bell beside the subscribe button, and that way, every time I do post a video, hopefully with sound, it'll let you know, and you can, remember to come back and watch me. You guys ignore all the stuff over here. I went to Walmart the other day, and they had these metallic paints. Crap! Now I gotta buy them. Like who doesn't buy metallic paints? I don't know if you can see with this picture right here. The outline of the petals on that is metallic purple. Like, holy shit. I had to get it. So yeah, then all those right there are metallic. And the one to the side right here is or let me figure out how to do this backwards. That one on the very end, that one right there is called Dragon's Tooth or something, and you it's like a glaze overlay, and you put it over it, and it's a color shift. So every time whatever you paint moves, it like color shifts all these beautiful colors. It's badass. I can't wait to like do some paintings with it and hang it behind me because I think they're gonna be cool as shit. And that's what I do when I remember to do it. But painting for me is something that I never thought that I would be any good at, and I just started doing it one day, and it's a great stress relief. I'm definitely not ever going to be like Bob Ross, but it's a great stress relief for me. And my mom and my dad make me feel like I'm like friggin' Bob Ross. They do the stuff that parents are supposed to do that growing up I never had. My dad like frames my paintings. He's awesome. Anyway, but yeah, that's what all that stuff is. Because I do have memory problems. Like for real, not just saying that. And if I put stuff that is out of my direct line of vision, I forget about it. So that's why my stuff is right there because I really would like to get some painting done in between all the other stuff that I'm doing because it kind of falls in the self help category for me. But anyway, back to today's video. Um, I wanted to make this video. I made this video actually the other day because I was out and about running some errands and I had to go by the grocery store and I ran into a family member. And I'm not going to say who this family member is out of respect for them and just because who it is doesn't need to be said. Um, and that is something that I changed from my first video, the one that I am re recording. um, and I wanted to make a video about it because I feel like, and I know, um, I've learned through going to NA meetings, because as you know, as part of my recovery is based in NA. I started my recovery within the rooms of NA. And then, I don't go to NA meetings now, but NA saved my life. It got me on the right path. And even though that's not a tool that I use in my toolbox now, it's a very resourceful, great tool to have. It works for a lot of people. But just from all of the people that I've talked to that are in recovery, whether it was within the rooms or in my capacity as a peer or, when I'm out training people how to use Narcan or in a group that I'm helping facilitate or anything like that, I know that family has a very big impact on people. And not just people that are in active addiction. I mean, your family has a big impact on you no matter what. You don't have to have substance use disorder to have issues with your family. That's why we have so many great jokes floating around the world about people's family. We put the fun in dysfunction and all those great things that people say about their family. Um, but a lot of addicts um, in recovery and that are in active addiction, if you sit down and have a conversation with them, a lot of us will tell you that we have childhood trauma or that we don't have the greatest relationship with our parents or our siblings, or, we have suffered through some type of abuse in our childhood, or, you know, I'm not saying that there aren't addicts out there that, grew up and had a good childhood because I've met plenty of those too. Don't get it twisted. Addiction doesn't care. It's not, it's not picky. Addiction will fucking take everything in your life, no matter what. So don't think that that's what I'm saying because it's not. Um, but the majority of people that I've interacted with, myself included, we do have things in our life that revolve around our family that cause us pain. Um, and some of it is very, very significant. Some of it is very traumatic, and some of it isn't, you know. And that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about that I didn't know, because for a very long time in my life, I did not understand what trauma was. I didn't understand the effects that it had on you mentally, the effects that trauma has on your brain, how it affects your life, and how it continues to affect your life all through your life. You know, trauma is not something that goes away as you get older. It's something that you have to deal with, um, throughout your entire life. And unfortunately, for some people, if you have trauma in your childhood, your trauma doesn't stop when you get older. Unfortunately, it just continues to build because you don't know any better. You've heard the expression, you live what you learn. Um, that's a very common thing, unfortunately, because, uh, if you grow up having people treat you a certain way, you don't realize that that's right or wrong. That's just the way that you were raised. Um, so when you grow up and you're a teenager, and then you grow up into be an adult, you continue to let people treat you in that way, whether it's good or bad, because you don't know any different. So, like me, for example, there were certain things that I let go on in my life and like my personal relationships that I let go on because that was what I saw growing up, and I didn't realize that, um, it wasn't supposed to be that way. And, people don't, it's not okay for somebody to prove their love for you with their fists. And because I had seen that all of my life, you know, I was living what I had learned my whole life, and I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that that wasn't okay. And it wasn't until much later in my life, actually, it wasn't until I entered my own recovery, not just from drugs, but my own like mental recovery. And I started addressing all the issues that I have with my mental health that I started to understand that and understand um, all the damage that had been done, to be frank, by my childhood. I never understood that I have PTSD. I never understood that I honestly do have childhood trauma. I knew that my childhood was not something um, that I enjoyed talking about. I knew that there were things that were done to me and my older brother in my childhood that when I would talk about to other people, that they would be like, "What the fuck?" That it wasn't normal to other people. But honestly, for a very long time into my life, well past the time when I was considered an adult, um, I thought that PTSD was something that was reserved for soldiers, to be completely honest with you. I thought that PTSD was reserved for people that had been away to war. And when my therapist at the time told me that I had PTSD, uh, I actually I laughed at her and told her that she probably did not know that what she was talking about. I have since went back and talked to her and apologized to her, um, because I feel like that was really rude for me to say, but I didn't know, um, and I just it's something that we all have to learn. And I know that for a lot of people, I hate this. I try to find a new way to say things, um, and it's just very hard to do. So, if this part offends you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I get called names all day, every day because I uh, went through a 14-year drug addiction because I was a single mom, et cetera, et cetera. So, um, it is what it is. But normal people think that drug addicts need to enter recovery and just stop doing drugs. They don't understand that that's not all recovery is, and that laying the dope down is a part of it, but it's not as big of a part as what you think it is. Because when addicts lay the drugs down and we stop doing that, we give up our shield. And then we start letting in all of the feelings that we have been numbing and building up barriers, between us and those feelings for a very long time. And that's when our true recovery starts. And that's very hard for people to do, because most addicts have co occurring disorders. Most addicts have substance use disorder, but most addicts are also suffering from some form of mental health, depression, anxiety, or both. Um, I know, like myself, I'll just speak for myself. I have substance use disorder. It's something that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. Um, I'm always going to be an addict. I'm going to be an addict until the day I die. I also have major depressive disorder. I also have high functioning anxiety. I have PTSD. I have childhood trauma. So, you know, if you write that down on a piece of paper, that's a lot of stuff. Co occurring disorders. So, when I stopped doing drugs, all of that just, you know, kind of like caved in on me. And I was like, holy crap, how do I deal with all this? I had no idea at all. Because everyone in my life um, had never taught me how to do any of that. And it's a very long process. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so worth it. But it's a very long process. And you have to learn how to manage your triggers. For me, that was one of the biggest things. The biggest thing for me getting into recovery, the mental part of recovery was the triggers, you know, learning how to deal with day to day things without being high. And one of my biggest triggers is my family, because I use with some of my family. Um, and because the only way that I knew how to deal with some of my family was to get high. And then, if I could get high and go around them, I didn't care. I didn't care about the backhanded comments. I didn't care about things that had happened in the past. I didn't care about any of it. So when I took away, my security blanket, for lack of a better way to explain it, I didn't know what to do from there. And, that was terrifying to me. And I think that for a lot of addicts in recovery and in active addiction, that's a big thing for them. And it's something that a lot of normal people, normies, um, sorry, that's something that they don't understand. Or maybe they don't, it's not that they don't understand it, maybe that they don't recognize it. Because, like I said, a lot of normies just think that uh, drug addiction is just drugs, and it's not. I'm sure if you've heard anybody talk about drug addiction, you've heard someone say, "Well, I didn't just wake up one morning and decide I wanted to be a junkie," and none of us did. None of us. I've yet to meet any drug addict that just said, "Oh, I thought it would be fun. Nobody ever, nobody uh, snorted their first oxy or did their first bang of heroin, or nobody just did it just um, to see if they could get addicted and lose everything. That's not why we did it. We did it because the first time we did it, or the second or the third time, whatever, um, it filled a void that we had been trying to fill our entire lives and had had no success filling until right then. So, that's just something that I think a lot of people um, don't understand, or, you know, don't think about, or don't realize. It's definitely about, not just about laying down the dope. Yeah, that is the first major hurdle that addicts have to get over. You got to lay down the dope. You got to get through the withdrawals, which is something else that I think a lot of people don't spend a lot of time talking about. I know for me, that was my mental breaking point, and I'm actually really wanting to do a video about it, because when I was still in active addiction, but I was really ready um, to stop using, I wanted to find all the resources that I could about going through withdrawal, and try to educate myself and try to get myself ready, because I knew that I couldn't make it through withdrawals. I just was not mentally able to do it on my own, and I didn't have anyone that would help me get through it. And I couldn't find any. Uh, so that's something that I want to make a video about and talk about for lots of reasons. But, once we get past that, um, there's so much still out in the world and here, and in our minds and in our hearts, that we still have to deal with, that can flip us back over so quick, and can, there's just so much other stuff that is involved with addiction that so many people don't know about, that I just wish, sometimes, that we could just get everybody in a big room, and just kind of crack open our brains and let everybody who hasn't ever suffered with addiction, just let everybody see it, so maybe they would understand. But I know that we can't. So that's, 1,040,000 reason why I do these videos, because I hope that it does so much. I have so many hopes and dreams for this channel, and I just hope that it does even a quarter of what I'm dreaming and hoping for it. But I kind of got way off topic with this video, so I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, wow, you really, but that's okay. I meant it as a story time, but you know, I just wanted to kind of bring light, I guess, to the fact that there's a lot more going on uh, than what you think. Um, Another thing that I wanted to talk about was, when I went over that video that I was going to post today, and I say today because today's Friday, and I fully intend on filming this, and unless the sound is messed up on it, I'm going to post it today, Friday, so you guys can watch it. But, um, you know, one of the things that I had to learn in recovery, um, I get a lot of comments now, um, especially from my one counselor. Her name is Katie, and I mentioned her on here before, and she is just an amazing person. She really is. Um, we talk like every day except for on the weekends. We email back and forth. She is just, Katie's one of the first people that believed in me when I had very little faith in myself. And um, that just meant a lot to me. And she actually is a very patient person, which, working with people like me. I always joke around and say that she needs to request a raise because she has to work with me and she didn't know what she was signing up for. But you know, she's fantastic. She really is, and she's done amazing things with me, whether she realizes it or not. She truly has helped save my life. Um, I don't know that I would be as far as I am in my recovery today without her, and I hope that she knows that. But she has taught me a lot. But she taught me a lot about just maybe not acting, maybe not reacting so quickly. Um, because, like I said, she's very calm, she's very sweet, and you know, we'll be in group or something together and I'll be listening to her. And, you get a bunch of addicts in a room together and we all get fired up about something. Somebody says something that can be misconstrued or taken the wrong way. And, she doesn't lose her temper and she's always been an example to me. And I admire that quality about her. And it's, she very often pops into my mind when I'm about to lose my temper or, you know, I'm getting ready to open my mouth and say something I'll regret later on. And that's one of the things I had to learn in early recovery. And she really helped me out with that a lot. And I don't know if she knows that or not, but I hope that she does. And when I was going through that other video that I almost posted today without um, reviewing it a second time because I kind of skipped through it the other day and I was like, yep, that's good. And I hadn't made a little thumbnail for it yet because I just taught myself how to do thumbnails. So, I was all pat myself on the back about it, but I hadn't done it for that video yet. So I was like, I'm not going to post it and schedule it. I'm not going to schedule it on YouTube until I make that thumbnail. Um, so I didn't do it. And today I was getting ready to put it up and I said, well, just something was like, Jessica, just check it. Just check it one more time. And I mean, sometimes it sounds like I'm like I have my whole mouth over the microphone. You can hear me so loud. And then other times, I mean, it sounds like I'm like way back here and you can barely hear me at all. Like I'm whispering or something. And I thought, man, that's just meant to be right there. It's just meant to be. Because like I said, I was emotional. I was mad, but I was sad. I was sad more than anything. And there was things in the video that I said that are good, but I've gone through and pulled them out and I made notes of them. And when I got to the end of the video and I looked at my notes and decided to re-record, um, I deleted it because it doesn't need to be out there. And for me, that is a gift of recovery. Because me, 5 years ago, I'd have put that shit on the internet and not cared if that person in my family would have seen it 5 years from now, 5 minutes from now, 5 weeks from now, not cared. Not cared if it would have hurt their feelings, not cared if it would have made them mad. I would not have cared, because it would have made me feel better at the time to put it out there and I wouldn't have cared. And that's the person that I used to be. That's not the person that I am today. And I thank God for that. But I didn't get it overnight. And that's a gift of recovery. It really is. It's a gift of recovery. And that's why I say, you know, um, it's not just about putting the dope down because it's not. You have to work on so many things. And it's such a learning process. It's almost like getting to know yourself all over again. You're starting at square one. You learn things about yourself that are completely surprising. It's almost like you're moving in with a stranger that you thought you knew your whole life. And you realize that you don't. I mean, it has been that way for me. And, that's not a bad thing for me. I fought it at first because I was in the camp of, well, if I could just stop doing drugs, I can keep on about my life the way it has been, and I was miserable. I was very miserable, and yeah, I wasn't using drugs, but I wasn't happy. And now, it's a continuous process. I can honestly say that I am happy that I will be working my recovery program until the day that I die. And I'm okay with that because that means that I'm a strong enough person now that when I notice or when somebody points out something about me that I'm doing wrong or that's, a shitty thing about me, you know, that I will work on it and that I'll make it better. And that's not saying that I'm perfect and that that I take that graciously because sometimes I don't. But today, the Jessica that I am now, the person that I am now, um, I will take it and I will work on it. And that's a gift of recovery that I never thought that I would have. And I love that. And I'm very thankful for that. So, Um, that's kind of my story time. Kind of, just a rambly thing. Also, if you're watching this today, today is May 7th, and it is International Harm Reduction Day. So, harm reduction is anything that lowers the harm of a situation. If you don't know what harm reduction is, look it up because this is a 31-minute video already, and I'm not going to make it any longer. I'll do another video at another time about harm reduction because I'm really, really, really passionate about harm reduction, and I will go on and on and on about harm reduction. But that is all that I'm going to say today. I'll let you guys go until next time. Um, you guys stay safe, stay alive, test your supplies, take care of each other. Take care of each other. And remember, if you feel like you do not have anybody, you do. You have me. And I know I'm some random chick on the internet, but there is a reason that I link everything I can in my description box below. And it's so if you are sitting out there watching this video and you feel like you don't have all the resources that you would like to have, or you don't have a family member or a loved one or a best friend that you can reach out to, and you just want somebody to talk to, reach out to me. My phone stays on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I will answer you. I don't care who you are, if we've ever met. It does not matter to me. It does not matter to me what kind of problem you are going through. If you need someone, you got someone. So, all my stuff is linked down in the description box below. Happy Friday. Happy International Harm Reduction Day. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good weekend.